Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I thought I'd take a few minutes out and join the little Pigeon Mumble, the Ham, Flight Kit Box, and Terry from Hidden Hollow Law, B-Rod, a few other guys have joined the conversation, the Pigeon Mumbling. And I guess I'll give a little history of my beginnings, of how I started, and things of that nature. Let me turn these lights on. Yeah, so I started flying. First, I'm originally from the Lower East Side, from the LES, Alphabet City, New York City, Manhattan, New York, 1009, baby. We represent. That's one thing about New Yorkers, they're proud of where they come from. But my neighborhood is special. We have a collage of cultures, everything, all in one big melting pot, which I like, people from all walks of life. And anybody you meet from the Lower East Side, or you see their videos, and it comes to our neighborhood, I think you'll get that in the videos. Like we love where we come from. But I'm in the country now. I represent Jersey, Jersey strong, baby. Been out here for a long time. I love Jersey. Jersey has been awesome to me, man. My whole life changed, and whole quality of life changed moving out here. Nevertheless, my carbon footprint, leaving all this crap in every fucking state, every damn state I go to. Its beginnings was in the Lower East Side, man. And growing up in the city, I first was exposed to pigeons with brothers on rooftops, man. We're young. You're going to school, or you're hanging out around the neighborhood, and you used to see these guys up on the roof waving their flags, and they had their pigeon coops and things of that nature. And then you also had the old timers, the Italians, the Paisans. Forget about it. These fucking guys, you don't understand. They used to have pigeons that were worth $1 million, Forget about it. But yeah, the old timers, Italian guys, Irish, Puerto Rican, black. We all had. There was 1,000,001 coops, man. Everywhere you went, there were coops all over the Lower East Side. I mean, literally on every block, every other block, there was a coop. And these guys, they love what they did. So naturally, growing up, me loving animals and things of that nature, I began to fly birds myself. I don't remember exactly my first bird. I believe it was a tiplet, though. Long-faced tiplet. And I had a milk crate. On my windowsill in the projects, and then newspaper underneath it, and of course the shit was shitting all over the windowsill, and I wasn't taking care of it the way it was supposed to be taken care of. There was shit all over. My mother was going crazy, so eventually she told me I couldn't have pigeons no more inside the house. Mind you, I have friends who have pigeon coops in the projects in their bedrooms, flying at a goddamn dresses, man. Insane shit that I've seen in the projects. I mean, dresses where people would normally put their clothes in. These guys had fucking 50 birds in a dresser, coming out the dresser, shooting right out the window, and shooting up right up the, into the sky from the projects, 13, 14 stories high in the projects. It was insane. But then a few friends of mine, we were into the birds and things of that nature, so we took over an abandoned building. Our first abandoned building was on 9th Street and Avenue C. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Back in those days, guys were called, stealing birds and stuff. guys, we used to call it tapping their coops, man. You know, everybody was tapping each other coops. If guys seen that you had a coop on a certain roof, they would try to go up to your roof and steal your birds and throw your whole coop off the roof. It was, you know, it was crazy. Back then we used to use police barricades. There was so much shit going on in the neighborhood that there was police barricades all the time, all over the place. So we used to take the police barricades, bring them up to the abandoned roof, and make these big, huge boxes out of them, and then start putting our birds in there. You know, put a little bullshit screen in the front. Boom. We used to, you know, have our birds and we'll fly them. A lot of times in the neighborhood, our birds, anybody who had a coop was always on an abandoned building. Not all the time, but the majority of the time, guys would knock out the steps going up 6-story flights and make special ways how to get up there. And I was a part of that, you know, and it was just natural to us growing up in that era in the city and doing what we love, you know what I mean? You know, I wouldn't know what else to say. I mean, the state of the pigeon game now, I mean, we have a nice little community going now of solid guys on YouTube, you know. I mean, there's a few guys that we interact with each other. Of course, we're from different walks of life, but the beauty of our country, of where we come from, is that it doesn't matter who you worship, who your God is, who, you know, who you're politically affiliated with, your color, nationality, none of that doesn't matter. When it comes down to the birds, what I learned, I mean, I'm friends with police officers, ex-police officers, a captain in my town right now, ex-captain, you know, he used to fly pigeons. I mean, people from all walks of life, lawyers, doctors, you name it. We have it in our communities. And the beauty of what we do, of what we're all about, our pigeons, loving our animals, even if it's just racing or whatever the case is, the beauty of it is that we can all come together and everything else doesn't matter. What matters is what we do, our birds. You know what I mean? I pray, I hope that, you know, when I make my videos, that the love of what I have for what I do, you know, for our hobby comes across in our videos. I really hope that people get that, you know. This is, you know, it's cool to have all the followers and things of that nature, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this because this is what I love doing. And for the most part, I get that from all the guys that I follow on YouTube, who also have their, you know, their channels, and they post a lot of good stuff, solid stuff. I always, how would I say, I invite criticism, constructive criticism and things of that nature. I never take anything personal because there's always something new that we can learn. And as a community, the pigeon community, no matter where you're from, you could be in Hawaii, you could be out west, you could be in Virginia, New York, you could be in Europe, UK, India. I don't know, I don't care where you're from. As long as we can communicate, there's always an understanding of what we do and an understanding maybe some people doing something different. I mean, sometimes a lot of guys, they take things personal in this game, in this pigeon game. And I've seen a lot of stuff happen, you know, being a part of 2 clubs now. And, you know, things sometimes get out of hand. People go above and beyond it's also just being ignorant, man, and it's just ridiculous. You know, it's not that hard. It's not. I mean, what we do is pretty simple. You know what I mean? But what I've come to understand is the competitive nature in us men and a few pigeon women that we have when it comes to our pigeons. Naturally, you're gonna feel you have the best pigeons. You know. I have the best ones. I have Devon, or I have Jansen, or I have Mulemans, I have Husky Van Riels, I have Van Loons. Everybody feels they have the best birds, you know. And my thing is, you have the best birds, cool. If you do, more power to you, brother. You know what I mean? with racing, it's all it's all determined on the clock, man. You know, I learned that last year. It was a very humbling experience. Let me tell you, very humbling experience. I came in first in one of the races. It was 104 miles, a couple of hundred birds, and the feeling that I got when I got that call, I got a call from Charlie Zarafa. He's an old timer that I came into contact out here when I first came out to Jersey. I'll get into that later. And that feeling that I got when I got that call, it was like, you know, he's a real old timer. He's up in age. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, champ, how you doing?" I said, "Champ, what are you talking about?" He's like, "You won the damn race. You're always asking me questions of what I do. And now I'm going to have to start asking you questions of what the hell you do." I mean, I started laughing my ass off. And I was actually at an ATU meeting with the Tipplers, and I got that call, man, and it was like I was on cloud nine, man. You know, on my first race, I entered. I wasn't expecting to do so great with my birds. You know, even though I was, for the past 10 years, what I've been doing, I've been selective breeding. You know what I mean? I started out with some pigeons that were given to me from a guy named Enzo in Hackettstown. The first birds I ever got in the state of New Jersey was from Stanley, the president of Perth Amboy Pigeon Club. I just started Googling people, local people, and his name came up. I called him. Guess what? He invited me to his house. Not even knowing me from a can of paint, gave me 2 birds, and I believe he's an ex-cop as well. And I was like, wow, you know, that was a big thing for me, man. You know, people overextend themselves and do that for me. I take that real personal, and I'll always have love for them people. You know, we don't have to talk every day, but if I can ever help them, or whatever the case may be, you know, I always have loyalty to them people. So, you know, I was doing the selective breeding for 10 years, man. I would take my birds out 300 miles, 250, 150. Obviously, whatever didn't come back, I wouldn't breed from. Or whatever came back 2 or 3 days later, I wouldn't breed from them. I will only breed from birds that made it back the same day. So I kept doing that for years, you know what I mean? These birds that were given to me, I'm sure that these guys, they felt that they weren't good enough to be in their loft any longer. But guess what? I didn't care about that. All I wanted was the blood. Because maybe this bird didn't breed good young ones for races, or it didn't do good in the old bird races, and now they were trying to wean out their birds, and they decided, hey, I'll get rid of this one, give it to this kid. He's just starting out in the game. I take it. You know why? Because, again, all I wanted was the blood. So I kept on doing the selective breeding all these years, and then I bought a clock. I had the clock for 2 years, didn't enter the race, and didn't even join the club. And then I seen Peter Raymond, Fireman Dimeloff. He, you know, it so happened how this world works. We were friends on YouTube first, and then we found out that we were both from the general area, for that we're from the city. You know, he's from Staten Island. I'm living in Jersey, but I'm from New York. And lo and behold, we go to the club, and we bump into each other at an event. And it just goes to show you how small this pigeon community is. Not to get off of the subject, but then I just kept on doing the selective breeding for years, and then obviously whatever I was doing worked out. You know why? It worked out because I joined my first race last year, and then getting back to Peter again, I had the clock 2 years, didn't even join the club, and here this guy comes, Peter Raymond, Fireman Dimeloff, guy that used to feed birds in the park, got into the pigeon game. Boom, he already joined the club. I was like, damn, me and him, you know, Peter and I have been friends for a while, and look, he already joined the club. I'm just screwing around. So I said, you know, I seen him join, and he was like my biggest inspiration to join the club, you know what I mean? Here's a guy who just was feeding birds in the park and just, you know, fell in love with what we do. And we're very lucky to have him a part of our community. He's a very good dude. We met in person. We talk all the time, every now and then. Great dude. So, you know, I joined because I seen he inspired me to join. I joined, and guess what? I did pretty good. I mean, my first race, I came in 3rd, 7th, 8th. I think it was 11th. And then my second race, or my 3rd or 4th race, no, it was my 3rd race or 4th race. I put some birds out that I bred. I got a hen from Enzo that I spent $100 on, and from Hackettstown Pigeon Club, and I breed it with one of my cocks that I knew, you know, it came from good stock and it made it home from a long distance. I put those birds together and voila, the bird comes in first place, so opal. You know, it was insane, you know. And then I also had a consistent third place coming in, and it was from Trinity Rican Law, Jose Reyes from Newark. Another guy, he has good homers. Never tried them, never tried his birds. I said, hey, give him some bands, breed me a few birds so we can see how your birds do, you know. And his bird kept on coming in third place. My bird came in that one race first place, and it was just insane feeling. And then the first race I raced, the birds came in. When the birds came into clock, that was another excitement. I think I did a video on that. I mean, and there's no better feeling than seeing your birds come home, you know. And then even better feeling when the birds clock and they do pretty good. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? But that's just a little insight of my madness, you know. And again, hopefully, when I do my videos, like I said, hopefully what we do comes across in my videos, that, you know, the love for what we do comes across in the videos, you know. I want to give a shout out to a bunch of guys, you know. King 8780, man. This brother, he's been YouTubing for a long time, a few years, even before I was with the pigeons. And I actually met King through YouTube, and then I seen he started posting videos, and some of the videos that he had, I knew one or two guys from the neighborhood, or I knew their brothers or something like that. So we, you know, throughout the years, we stood in contact through YouTube and everything. And then I fell in love with these guys right here. Let me show you guys, with these white bars. And I had contacted a few people at the time that I wanted white bars, and they kept on selling me dreams and everything. And we connected, and I told him, hey, listen, I would like a pair of white bars. This is my foundation cock that I got from him a couple of years ago. I still got him. He's looking beautiful. Look at this bird. One of the lights are going bad. I have to change it. And this is my foundation hen. These are the birds that I got from King. And he said, sure, man. You want a pair? I got you. The guys from New York tell you, I got you. I was already skeptical. I was like, he got me. All the other guys said they got me too, you know. But then we were talking, we exchanged numbers. He told me to go to an ATU meeting. I went to an ATU meeting, and he was initially going to sell me the birds. And I get to the meeting, we start talking, vibing. It was actually at Andrew's old pet shop in the Bronx. And he was going to sell the birds to me. You know, I was expecting to pay $100, $150 for the pair if he had asked, you know. And when I get there, we start talking, we start vibing. He's like, oh, we finally meet. We start, you know, kicking his shit. And then when I get there, I'm expecting to pay for the bird, you know, pay for the white bars, you know. And he doesn't charge me, man. You know, he was like, you know what? You take the birds. You know, they're for free. You don't have to pay me anything, man. And that day when I was there, nobody knows me in that club. And the ATU said, everybody was asking me on the down low, hey, you want to sell them? What you going to do with them? Everybody wanted a pair. Wanted to buy that pair for me that day. Because they knew they came from King. And King is one of the top guys. If you guys don't know, he's one of the top guys in New York when it comes to the tipper game. He's one of them. You know, there's a few guys, you know. But for some reason, he's like the one everybody always wants to beat. And they're always talking about. But the brother looked out. And then from there is when I joined the ATU, the American Tipper Union. the American Tippler Union. I would have never joined that club, that Tippler Union, if it wasn't for that brother extending himself and giving me a pair of the white bars. You know, mind you, when I was back in the days when I had my loft in the Lower East Side before, I had to get rid of them. I had almost 500 strong. I love tipplers, you know what I mean? But I never seen a white pair of tipplers like that, the white bars, you know? So I fell in love with them. He looked out, boom, I joined the club, and here we are today, you know, almost 2 years or more later, and I'm still involved with the club, you know? Going on the 3rd year already. So if you guys want to check him out, and he's also a veterinary technician. If you guys ever have questions and stuff like that, he might know remedy, or he might have something he might be able to send to you or mail to you too as well. His YouTube channel is King8780. Great dude. Another guy that I first came into contact was B-Rod, man. B-Rod 681 from Taino Love, Boricua, you know, Puerto Rican. Matter of fact, from the Lower East Side as well. There's a long story with B-Rod as well. Yeah, so the story with B-Rod is we were interacting again for years. This guy has a ton of information. We talk constantly. One time we were talking almost every day, every other day. This guy was giving me a lot of knowledge on flying, the homers, you know, giving me his insight, what he does with his birds and things of that nature, as other guys have. But this guy, you know, B-Rod was a little more intense and giving me more information, you know. To tell you, you know, to tell you how small this world is. We're friends throughout the years, and then one day I call him. I'm like, "Hey, does Raul live by you?" Now this guy Raul was from my neighborhood. I knew him very well. My parents knew his family very well, and lo and behold, a guy from the Lower East Side, he moved out to Palm Bay, and he knows the guy. So that even brought us even closer. He was like, we were like, you know, laughing and about that. That's another thing. Our pigeon community is very small. I don't care where you are, what part of the world, what part of the country you're in. If you do something to someone in this pigeon community, best believe that it's gonna get around. Somewhere, somehow down the line, someone's gonna find out the grimy shit you've done, or what have been said, or the unrighteousness that you know, how you've dealt with people, and it's gonna get around. And believe me, people may not talk about it, but they know about you, man. This community is very small. It may seem like it's very big, but it's very small. But yeah, B-Rod is a great guy too, man. Check out his channel, B-Rod 681. And more than likely, if guys are following me, and you know, we follow each other. A lot of people that we you know, as far as the interaction, the guys that we interact a lot. I'm pretty sure you guys are following him as well. Hidden Hollow Love, Terry, that's my boy, country boy, always doing his thing. He's into his chickens, building stuff. He has a lot of, you know, that's what he does. You know, he has a lot of time to do that. That's how he makes his money, man. And he comes out with a lot of nice stuff. Terry from Hidden Hollow Love. And Terry, we had a lot of interaction, Terry and I. We were supposed to meet up at the Lancaster show this year. It didn't work out. He had to boogie back home. I got there a little late to the show. It just sucks that we didn't get to see each other, but this year we're gonna see each other, man. This year, Terry. Terry has a lot of great videos, man. He has me cracking up a lot of times. You know, and Terry's a realist. You know, he'll tell you what he's feeling, you know, at any given that given moment, you know, which is cool to me. You guys should check him out as well, Hidden Hollow Love. Of course, Five and Dime Love, my boy, Mr. Peter Raymond. Check him out. I don't think Peter's big on posting a lot of videos and stuff like that, but check him out anyhow. Good dude. Yeah, so another guy I met through YouTube was Leo Kang 8665. I'm shouting him out especially because he hasn't made any YouTube videos in about 2 years or more. So hopefully if Leo Kang is watching this video, he'll start posting some videos on YouTube again. He's a good brother, another brother that I met through YouTube. We met up. Eventually, he came to my house first and helped Edwin at the time when he had his loft here. Build his loft. We met prior to that on 1 or 2 shows, and then I went to his house, visit him with my son when we were up in his area. And he's knowledgeable as well, and with pigeons, got some nice pigeons. He started in Brooklyn and now he's in the Pocono Mountains. But you guys might want to check him out. Maybe that'll give him some encouragement to start making some videos. Another person that I follow is Ham's Flight Kit Box. Ham, assalamu alaikum. How you doing, brother? He always has a lot of good videos as well. Ham is a good dude. He goes to Hawaii. He'll take videos of guys, brothers out there who fly. I forgot the guy's name. He's always taking videos about his pigeons and things of that nature. Another good guy to check out. Ham's Flight Kit Box. Another person is good to follow. It'll be nice to follow. He hasn't been posting a lot, but he was like YouTube famous at one time. His name is Yellow Caps 1 from the Bronx. His name says it all. He has yellow caps, some nice pigeons, very knowledgeable as well in the pigeon game when it comes to tiplets. Yellow Caps 1. Dunningville Loft. Another one of my country boys. Good dude. His videos, you could get that he loves what he does. He has a beautiful loft. Beautiful property as well. Another guy you'd like to check out. Dunning Hill Loft. Adrian P. This guy is knowledgeable in a lot of things that he puts up. I like watching him. Adrian P. Tipplerman 266 down in Palm Bay. That's B-Rod 681. That's his brother. He's into the tiplets. Red Eye Loft. He does his thing down there too with those tiplets. With his red eye birds. Another person I follow is Valentine Diaz. Now this guy is a Cuban guy. He doesn't have a big loft, but doesn't have a lot of pigeons. But it goes to show you that you don't need 100 birds, 50 birds, 200 birds. This brother has a few pairs of birds, and he does great in the pigeon races, Valentine Diaz, and this dude be having me cracking up. Who else? Have I missed anybody? Oh, there's a big thing right now. Black City Tippers, man. His name is Felix. Good brother. I convinced him to get a YouTube channel, man. He just got a YouTube channel. He's just messing around, putting little videos up, just trying to get a feel for what's going on in YouTube and how to post and things of that nature. But any of you guys want to see some nice black tipplers, man, model tipplers, solid black tipplets. This guy did great at the ATU last year, at the American Tippler Union, showing his birds. He took first, second, and third place, I think, last year. I mean, he did something huge with them blacks. He only raises black tipplers, black city tipplers, or tipplets. I'm not sure. Wait a minute. I think it's tipplers. But either way, you'll know once you get on that channel. He doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but you guys will be seeing, pretty soon, you're going to be seeing a lot of nice birds, a lot of nice tipplers, black tipplers coming up. And that's all he does, man. And you see them birds, they look beautiful. And he flies out of a balcony where he lives in his complex. and you're going to see the setup that he has, beautiful setup. Not a lot of birds, he does a lot of selective breeding. And everything he pumps out of there is awesome. So, this is it, man. This is On the Go Loft, you know, and, you know, like always, man, there's always one love, one heart, one mind. Stay positive, positive vibes all the time. You know, it's not an act, man. The way I am is not an act. I always try to live my life positive, always try to give positive feedback, always try to have positive energy around me. You know, I've been through a lot in my life, and I don't have time to be, you know, being negative and creating drama and being involved with all the bullshit, you know. Flying birds isn't supposed to be that hard, you know. Always keep it positive, man, and keep them up in the sky. One love, brothers.